We are live. It's Deb and Joss. I was waiting for the countdown to go. The countdown didn't go. So, hey, it's live television, and This is what you do. So, joy seekers, congratulations. You found the right place because today is going to be all about seeking your joy and productivity. My name is Deb McGregor. This is our summer Infusion of Joy series. It is my pleasure to welcome to the show Jocelynn Flowers. Joss, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been so thrilled about this. And of course, I was looking for a little dun, 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 with our little, right? Because that just gets us in the mode. You know, the last time you and I were talking wasn't it Cinco de Mayo or something?
I think so.
It was. And we had little sombreros and it was just.
Oh, yeah. We had a celebration.
It was amazing. Every day with you is a celebration. So, you are with J Flowers Organizing, and we are going to be talking about what that means. We're going to be talking about productivity. Mm-hmm. Joss, let's give people a little bit of an idea of what do you do at J Flowers Organizing? Like, what are you all about?
Yes, absolutely. So what we do here is we are a virtual assistant social media management company that primarily works with entrepreneurs and small business owners who are really looking to just increase their impact, their business growth through different platforms. So one of the things we love and specialize in is creating systems and structure for our entrepreneurs. So not only does it lift a weight off their shoulders, but it also streamlines a lot of their business practices. So it actually allows them to bring in new business and keep growing their business.
Which is a good idea if you're a business owner.
Yes.
I think so, right? So many times as business owners, we get so caught up in just all this other stuff that we don't realize we're not exactly doing what we wanted to be doing in our business in the first place, right? It's crazy. So let's talk about productivity. I feel like this is one of those words that sometimes it can be kind of like joy. You hear this word and you're like, yeah, I'm hearing it a lot. What's it really about, right? Yes. Like I feel like that happens a lot. So talk to us about, what does productivity mean and what does it look like?
Absolutely. So productivity really is different for every individual person. And one of the biggest stereotypes out there is that you can only be productive if you're waking up early in the morning and you have that bullet list of this is the thing that I'm getting done. Where now the industry is really changing. And I like to work with my clients in creating that productivity window, no matter what time of day it is, because it also changes for me. So for an example, my primary productivity window is 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now, a lot of you might be saying, why is she getting up at 5 a.m.? But that for me, I'm wide awake. I'm ready to go. I'm energized. And so I know that is the time where I can schedule those heavy duty tasks that have to be done. But I know then from 10 to 5, which is the end of my business days, that I can sprinkle in more of those creative activities because that refuels me. And then I can also go through the planning stages because those aren't going to require as much all in as I need to be on those tasks that need to be done. And so what I always work with is find the time of day where you feel energized the most, where you feel like, yeah, I'm ready to get some stuff done. But there are a few things that are very important is making sure that you have a dedicated productivity space. So no matter where that is, in your home, in your office, whether it's outside, make sure you have a dedicated space that you know that's the mindset I'm going into and I know stuff's getting done. And also be aware of kind of those distractions around you. Make sure that you're in the mindset to be productive because everyone has this lovely device that can distract them from anything at any given moment. So I like to turn on the different, so if you're an Apple user, I have that you can set on the do not disturb and it has different settings. So I have one that's a work setting. So it will only.
Oh, I think we froze for a second, Joss. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so while she's doing that, I'm going to invite everybody right now to take out your phone and get curious about when do you want to put on the do not disturb sign? Because sometimes what happens, I know this happens for me sometimes, is that I forget to do it. And so get familiar with where that is on your phone so that when you choose to make that do not disturb there, that is a great time to make that happen. The other thing I got curious about, and this might be something for you to just start jotting down, is when is your time when you feel that most productive? Joss was talking about for her, it's that 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock time. So I know for me, what I tend to do is I have this, like, for me, it's like a 5 to 9, 5 to 10 in the morning. That is also very productive for me. But what I also know is that I have to sometimes take a little nap. Then I'll sometimes actually take a nap from like 10 to 10:30, and then I get another surge of energy. And so sometimes it also depends on when I might have to take clients. But what I'm learning is that I certainly have this flow. And when I get into that flow and when I can maximize the flow, then I'm that much more efficient and productive during that time period. So I know Joss is going to be coming back in here, and we'll continue to pick up on that. But what do you notice for yourself? When is your most productive time? What does that look like for you? And when you have that productive time, what do you notice you're doing within that? Joss mentioned for her, she does the hard duty tasks from that time where she gets that flow and productivity time and then moves into creativity. I actually find that sometimes for me in that productive time, there is a creative flow that starts to emerge. I think that's partly just because I do a lot of creativity time within my day, but it all works, like it's all super beneficial. So I would invite you to look at what does that look like for you and where does your product time come into that. Joss was also talking about distractions. What gets in the way of the productivity? So I'm very curious for you is what does that distraction, what are those distractions that come into play for you? Here we are bringing Joss back in, and Joss, there you are. You are back and at it. Hey, while you were gone, I gave everybody some home fun to work on.
Oh no.
What was happening?
Well, I was like, our internet completely went out. And so I went to my backup internet and that also went out.
Oh my gosh, this is so how we just have to go with the flow, right? Like
Yes.
this is what we do in the work we do. Joss, while you were taking a little pause, getting the internet back, I invited people to start writing down what their productive times are, and also get curious about what the distractions are that often get in the way for them. I invited them to learn on their phone where the do not disturb is. And so catching you up with, that's what we directed everybody to while you were having a little internet pause moment there. So let's pick up with that distraction piece. You talked about the phone being a distraction. What are some of the other types of distractions that often get in the way for people?
A lot of things, especially if you are working in an office or an actual business setting where you're around other people, people in general can be distractions for you. And so it's making sure that you kind of set those boundaries with those you're working around. For me, I work at home primarily. So the only distraction I really have outside of my phone is my animals. Which I love them to death. They're my best coworkers. Some of the time, though, they're sleeping on the job like they are right now. But you just kind of have to juggle with that. So not letting it completely derail you. Understand you're going to get distracted here and there. You're going to kind of zone out a little bit, but knowing how to bring yourself back to that focus space is really key to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to me, it's almost like that regrouping, kind of like what we just had to do, right? It's like something can happen, but it's a matter of how fast we recover. And what you and I both know is that when you have a good process in place and a good system in place, it's a lot easier to recover and come back to it. So even if we get distracted, it's like, oh, I went off my little thing a little bit. I need to get right back on track, right?
Absolutely. And generally, when I find for myself, when I start to doze off or I start to get distracted, it's generally because I haven't been up and moved in a couple of hours. So as you know, we're primarily sitting all of the time unless we're facilitating something up and moving. And so I know, it's time to get up, do a walk around the house, walk outside, come back in, and I'm able to refocus. And that can take 2 to 5 minutes. It doesn't have to take a long period of time, but there are times that I know, okay, it's time for me. I need to kind of check out, remove myself from technology, have a meal break, go for a walk, and come back and refocus and get back into the thing. But like I had mentioned earlier, is your productive time windows can change. So there are days where I am more productive in the afternoon, And so I need to take the morning to kind of do my self-care and prep my mindset to knowing that's my productivity window.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that was really coming up for me as you were talking is maybe a little bit of definition around what productivity isn't as much as what it is. Like, this is not about you need to work 24 hours a day to be productive.
No.
I think we really need to address that, because I think a lot of people hear, oh, I just need to be more, I just need to produce more, I need to be more productive. And there's a distinction in here, right, with producing and productivity. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I think another one of the big stereotypes is that you have to have that mile-long list. You're trying to get every single thing done in this short little window of time. And that's the other thing, is it doesn't have to be constrained by time. You don't have to say, this is my window of this is the only time I can get the tasks done, so I'm trying to crank them out as much as possible. What you want to do is you want to kind of more prioritize the items that you're working on. So what are the things that I know have strict deadlines? What are the things that I know is going to take the most mindset and focus that I have to do? I then prioritize those higher in the list. And I myself know that sometimes I can take on a little bit more work than,
Really?
but I think my boundaries that I've set allow, and I see that and I start to adjust. It's not uncommon for me to say, oh, okay, so I got these large projects done. I still have some of these secondary projects that should have gotten done today, but it's okay. I'm going to shift them to my productivity window tomorrow morning. So they're prime focus for the next day. And knowing where your boundaries are around that is really important. And knowing that if you want to complete something effectively and efficiently, you have to be able to know your boundaries around those items. Yeah. So again, one task may take you 2 weeks.
Yes.
It may also take you a day. It may take you an hour. So knowing your boundaries around your different tasks and knowing what mindset you need to bring to that is a huge piece of productivity. It's not about checking everything off your list.
Yes.
That's all old news productivity.
Yeah.
It's really bringing kind of what your what's the outcome you want of these tasks? What is the energy you run around these tasks? What are the tasks that are bringing you joy, and what are the ones that are draining your joy? Because those items that are draining your joy bring someone else joy, like myself and my team. So that's where we really step in and we support those entrepreneurs and small businesses in taking on those tasks so that they can focus on the things that do bring them joy, the things they love doing, that they have full passion around. So it's really getting to know yourself and really understanding what you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing, and fixing your boundaries around that.
Yeah. Well, and as you're talking, I mean, what's really coming up for me is when we are in our mode of what we do and what we thrive in doing, we just flow. We just go that much faster. And when it's the other stuff, it's not only that just it drains the energy, like it takes us 5 times as long, which then means we're missing out on serving the world in a way that actually activates what we're great at in the world, right?
Absolutely.
And I know that's one of the reasons that I chose to, and we should let people know that you do a lot of virtual assistant work for me. So when you saw those amazing graphics and things that go out, like this is Joss behind the scenes and her team. And one thing that I noticed for me is like, I don't even have to worry about it. I can focus on things like this. I can focus on things that I love doing, radio programs and writing blogs and working with clients, right? Like it frees us up. And to me, it's the freedom place. And I'm sure that you find that for the rest of your clients as well.
No, I think we're frozen again.
Okay, I'm not. We're here. I can see you and I can hear you. We're here. So, yeah, speaking of freedom, right?
Yes.
I feel like we're pulling up a magic act today. So I was, excuse me, what I was really curious about for when people are listening to this, I think what happens is sometimes we get so caught up in, we just keep doing, that we forget about the being. And that's one of the things that I think in that productivity cycle, is getting very intentional about what is it that I want to be productive at. And I think sometimes we forget to ask those questions. And this is one of the places where you often come in and help people with, let me do the doing so you can be in the being of this. Talk to me about those conversations that you have with people.
Absolutely. So a little kind of backstory into how I got into the work that I do is I actually started out as a residential organizer. So tactical, in people's homes, in their businesses, physically organizing a space to make it more functional and productive for them. And so obviously everybody knows we had a pandemic. So that kind of shifted the way we do business. And I still wanted to be able to bring elements of that organizational background and turn it into how can I still create systems and structure for these entrepreneurs, but on a digital or virtual kind of setting. And so one of the ways that like we bring in these items and we structure it is my focus on bringing new team members in is making sure they're coming in doing the position they love and enjoy doing. They're doing the task that they love doing. Because as everybody knows, sometimes you have to work a job that you don't enjoy doing. And I want to make sure that at least my team is thriving in the areas of my business that they're working in. Because one of the things I love doing is I love connecting with my clients. I love coming up with new strategies. I love diving into the strategy behind different things. And that's something that lights me up. Now, writing is not a happy, joyful area for me because it's something that I feel you have to have kind of that ease with it. And so I make sure that I have someone on the team that has that ease. They love that. And I love working with clients who love to write because it then gives that freedom of where we can go with the languaging in their social media posts, in their promotional marketing that we do with them. And so I think one of the things around figuring out what you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing, and do you need a virtual assistant? Do you need a social media manager that can kind of help bring things together and bring a focus around things? Because a lot of clients that I first start out working with, their biggest concern is, okay, what do I put out? When do I put it out? How do I get it out? Those are all things that we've already set up and we know. It's just personally tailoring it to each specific client's needs.
Yes.
We have a general system, but again, it gets customized to each client because not every client needs multiple posts a week. Not every client needs regular blog updates to their website. So we want to make sure that we're tailoring it to what their needs are and not going too many things that's then adding additional tasks and requirements on their plate because that's what we're trying to remove. We're trying to lighten their load so they can enjoy doing the things that they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for me, it's just taking the mental stress off of, oh my gosh, like how am I going to do this? I don't have time to do this. How to come up with these hashtags? Like it's just all those different things. And I know that's one thing that you do so well.
Yes.
One thing I know for people is that sometimes they get so caught up in the chaos of it, they don't even know where to start to move towards productivity.
Yes.
Where do you how do you get people started? What does that look like?
So first exercise I do with a lot of the virtual assistant clients is I have them map out, okay, what are the tasks that you do every single day for an entire week? I want you to write down the time frame it takes you to do that. And then we're going to reconvene on that. So then we go through and we analyze, okay, you did this many tasks this day. Now, how many of those do you think you could then delegate that frees up your time to do more income generating, more impact generating activities that you enjoy doing, while our team can then take on those tasks because they're easy to delegate. They're easy. And again, you got to think about what are the tasks you can delegate that may be done more efficiently by someone who loves doing that, enjoys doing those, may have the skills background to do them more efficiently. That's then saving you time and money while also giving you the opportunity to bring in more money. So, and more impact and more growth in your business. so that it gives you the time to have that creative. Because I think a lot of people, when they think of productivity, they think of there's no creativity. There's no creativity in that space.
Right.
It's all very analytical, very tactical, but it really does work well. You have to have the analytical side and the creative side
Yep,
in order to
absolutely.
really have that cohesive productivity space energy around your tasks.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and as you're speaking this through, I would think that for a lot of people, even just having that conversation starts
Yes.
putting some order into it, because the chaos, of course, the mind is just going like this, right? The
Yes.
minute we can start having, like, I call it the slotting, but it's like we start slotting things, and then the brain can start organizing it. And then you, of course, can be helping, to push this forward for people. And I think it makes all the difference for people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think until you actually sit down, because most of the time as entrepreneurs, as you know, we're in the thick of it. We're in the daily hamster wheel. When we actually have someone call us out a little bit and say, take a step back, really analyze, what are you doing? Is this the best use of your time, of your mindset, of your being? If it's not, it's something that should be delegated to someone else.
Yeah.
Or it could be something that's not really serving your business, and you're just trying to keep putting time into it, and it's more draining than it is helping. So that's somewhere where we could step in, and we are bringing attention to that. And so then it gives them a little bit better outlook too on where do they want their business to go. They
Yes.
haven't actually had the time to think about, where do I see my business in a year? Where do I see it in 5 years? And what do I want to accomplish with this? What is the lifestyle I want to be able to have by having this business?
And, I'm glad you're hitting on this, because I think for a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, we forget to take out time to do that. We are so busy in this doing. Okay, I need to show up. I need to see a client. I need to do this. I need to get this training done. We're just constantly moving. And we forget to take the time out to step back. What's working? What's not working? Where can I bring someone else in? Where is my flow going right now? And I know I just took a week off, and I was noticing during this week off, I started asking myself these questions. And the more I kept asking these questions, I can get clarity around, where is this going? What is the flow? What is the direction? And I love that that's one of the things that people like you are such a resource for that, because it makes people ask those questions all the time, not just once a year, all the time. It's like, okay, let's check in. How's this going or not going for us?
Absolutely. And that's where a lot of these systems that we can create and customize for you come into play, is because it can automate some of those. So you're not having to crunch the numbers, because we already have a system in place that is calculating all of that. Then you can see, it makes it easier to step back and see, okay, all right, this really worked. This one kind of fell a little bit short. I like the concept. Maybe it needs to be reworked in a different way. Maybe we need to come at it from a different strategy. And so, because there are those items that it could just be timing. And because right now we're seeing summer, everybody's wanting to get out, because with that 2 years of the pandemic, they didn't really get to do that. So they're wanting that freeing energy. They want to be free. They want to do that. And so that's why I also prioritize in my business and with the clients I work with, is having those boundaries of, I have to also take care of myself if I'm expecting myself to be productive in my business. And if I don't take the time out to do that, like you said, you just had a week off. And I know from working with you the last 2 years, we need that time off.
We do.
We need to be able to get into nature. You and I are both nature lovers. So that's why we have to make sure that we are being productive in our personal life as much as our business life, because they do have to go hand in hand together. They do affect one another. Because I know if I'm taking on additional work, I'm then taking away from my time away from work. And so being able to, this work-life balance, I know is a very touchy subject, where people are saying there's no such thing. You can't have a work-life balance. And I think there still is a possibility for that. It looks different for everybody. But figuring out what that looks like for you and sticking to that and holding those boundaries is very important.
Yeah. Well, and I love that you're bringing that up because A, it does look different for everybody, and B, depending on what you do, like a lot of people have a weaving that they do. It's in the weaving. It's sort of like if you're putting together a quilt, or
Yeah.
I'm remembering back in the day in Girl Scouts, we used to make those little placemats where you'd weave the thing. Okay, right? Like there's a certain way you weave it that works better than others, right? And if it was
Absolutely.
off just a little, it's like, well, okay, well, it looks a little different, but whatever. But that still is a placemat, so that's going to look different, for everybody. And I think that's important. As we talk about, I know we just have a little bit of time left, but I know one of the things you and I talk about, make sure that your vacations are on the calendar first. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So I have a wise man in my life, you know him, who has been really integral in just how I approach my business, how I approach my life. And he's very big on scheduling your life around your time off. Everything else you can fill in between, but making sure you're setting aside that time to unplug, to take that vacation you've always wanted to be doing, to do a hobby that you love to do, like setting the time out and actually doing that. Because I'm a person who's very social. I love to connect with people. And being a business owner who works from home, you don't get a lot of that connection anymore. Hi, Allison.
Hey, Allison. I was just writing Allison a little message from us.
Um, and so one of the things that I notice is that if I haven't taken that time to myself and taking the time off and having it on the calendar. So one of the things that I do with my clients is I'll give them 6 months at a time. Here's my calendar. Here's the dates I know I'm going to be out, whether it's a work related time out or it's a personal related time out. These are the dates and I'm sticking to them. Now, rest assured that anything that is crucial during that time period, it's going to be prepped and ready for you, good to go ahead of time. And I'm going to plan for that
Right.
because I know that when I have that time off, I need to completely check out in order to have the best version of myself for my clients when I come back from that.
Yeah.
And without taking time to do that, you really do start to kind of you start to have feelings of resentment around your business and forgetting why you started it, why you're doing what you're doing. And so taking that personal time is very important. And I do. So I plan out my entire year when I know I'm going to be off. And there's times that get added in there. And I always, remind the clients, be flexible with me. This
Yeah.
isn't set in stone. Things may change, but these are right now the dates I know confirmed I will be out. So
Yes.
that you can also understand and plan ahead on your schedule, because again, that does affect your schedule as well. If there's things that we have to prep earlier. Because as you know, right now we're prepping for a vacation where I'm going to be out an extended period of time, and we're prepping almost a month ahead.
Yes.
So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of things coming together, but making sure that we're creating a strategy that is beneficial for both parties and isn't overweighing one or the other is
Yes.
very important in that as well.
Absolutely. Well, and a great thing about that, I mean, quite frankly, is I'm writing blogs already for September. So it also gives me that permission when you're gone, because we've prepped so much in advance. It's like, oh, maybe I'll take a few days off at the same time because we've already gotten everything ready for those times. Not that there won't be some stuff I do live and that type of thing, but there's a permission in that. And sometimes it's worth just a little bit of extra time each week to be able to leave and just say, okay, Shring, I can just, let that go, let it go, let it go. I mean, this is you and me, right? Like that's what we want to do. So Joss, how can people get in touch with you? Feel free to just, I don't know, are you able to type in the comments or do I have to?
I am not sure. I am going to.
Let's see if you can type in there because we want to give people access to your website. I know you've got a little special something for people that are here with us live today.
Yes, so I'm gonna send it to you because it is not letting me comment.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Oh my gosh, you are so testing my skills to see if I can actually get this and then put it in at the same time.
So nice copy and paste. So what I'm offering to anyone listening today is I'm offering a 30-minute free conversation with me. If you are interested or looking for additional support for your business, or even just want to learn a little bit more about what a virtual assistant or social media manager can do for your business, the links will be in the comment section. Otherwise,
I had to take it from your email. I think it went to a different thing, but okay, let's see if that works. Will that work?
Because I also sent it to you in a private chat within here too. So either way.
Okay, by the way, this is why people like me hire people like Joss. And the reason is that Deb trying to figure this out on her own on the fly went a little bit haywire. But here's the good news. I can even learn, because look at this. Okay, here, look at this, Joss. I learned right on the fly. Okay, did I do it right?
Yay! Yes, it's perfect. So you'll see there, I have my website link, so it'll take you directly to my website, or you can see my virtual business card as well, which is a great software in case you're ever looking for a virtual business card. Now that a lot of our networking is still kind of either hybrid, or it's a great way to kind of share your business information. So both those links will get you right to where you need to be.
Yes. Hey, thanks for doing that. So I've worked with Joss for, oh my gosh, has it been almost 3 years now? I'm thinking it has.
Yeah.
It's been really close to that. And I know that's one of the things for me that has been really useful is, well, you can obviously tell, like when I said, oh my gosh, where's this stuff? And she said, I'm like, oh my gosh, because she usually takes care of that stuff for me. So I don't have to do that. I can focus on this person right here. And whether it's Joss or somebody else, or it's a client, she can take care of a lot of that. And I know I have really appreciated that, because it allows me to focus on my skills and talents and what I'm really good at in the world. And so if you are somebody out there and you're saying, the productivity piece, yeah, I call it the double P, by the way, the P squared, the double P, it's because there's something in here about when you really get into that productivity piece, that people can really get on the right path. Maybe that's a triple P, not to be confused, of course, with everything we just went through during the pandemic, but that really is a skill set that you have, and you can really help people get on track and take a lot of the stress out. And like, who doesn't need to release a little stress right now, right? For sure.
Absolutely.
So Joss, what are your final thoughts on productivity that you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, so my biggest thing is you just have to write it down, get your thoughts in order, because again, it is different for everybody. So that first tip that I shared is finding, when do you feel most energized? When do you feel most focused in anything? Whether it's, I'm focused in reading a book, or I'm focused in getting this paper done. I'm focused in getting these social media posts scheduled, created, designed. Figuring out what that window of time where you're feeling most energized around that, then you can start to structure, what are the things I'm doing within that window of time? And again, it may shift day to day. So being able to be fluid with that as well is very important. And trusting your instinct, trusting your intuition, trusting your body, knowing, today I'm a little extra tired. I'm feeling more productive in the evening than I am in the morning. I need to take the morning to kind of cycle back, check out a little bit, come back in ready to go in the afternoon. And so be very aware of that and trust your intuition on that. Don't just push it aside. Also, make sure you're setting your boundaries and you are balancing the work to life balance, and making sure that you're not putting absolutes on any of the items that you're trying to accomplish or complete, because there's always something that can be adjusted. It can always be shifted and looked at in another way. So try and stay too much away from complete absolute. If I don't get this done, my business will fail. Yeah. Now, there are certain things that are very important to make sure you do have squared away in your business, but there's always ways that you can adjust that. So stay away from that absolution. So those would be my top 3 tips when you're looking at your productivity. How are you being productive right now? How are you staying focused? And just paying attention to your attention span around certain things. Yeah. And just kind of jotting it down. I'm a big checklist person. I'm a big note taker. So just when you're in those modes, see how it makes you feel. Write down a few notes about it. And then notice also the times that you're not fully in focus, fully energized around something. make a note of that, because that might be something down the road that you can delegate to a support person like a virtual assistant or social media manager.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Joss, thanks so much for joining us today. This has been awesome.
I'm so excited. We worked through all the tech. We got it all worked out.
The people who just joined have no clue what we're talking about. But like, this is so, like, this is so the world right now, right? Sometimes it freezes a little bit, then it comes back to life, and then it freezes, and then it's back to life. We're seeking freedom. Like, it's all these things, right? Like, our call today represented, in my opinion, the world, right now. Thanks, Allison, saying good job. Woo woo, great job, even. That's just good. It was a great job. So that's just so good. Joss, you're amazing. Thanks so much. And I really want to encourage all of you, if you've been listening, do a discovery call with Joss. Like, it will serve on so many levels. It will serve you. And she's amazing to talk to too. So get on her calendar. So thanks again for joining us. And this has been so fun. I love doing this. I love when we get a chance to work together. And we want to thank all of you for tuning in to our summer Infusion of Joy series. By the way, you'll notice the little cute overlay. That would be a Joss creation. So we need to show, like, that's the kind of stuff she can do. And it's just amazing. We want to thank all of you for choosing to tune in today with us. And we want to give you just a little highlight preview. Next week, I know, Joss already knows who it is because she created the overlays and she just happens to know this person. Next week, we have Dr. Christmas joining us. I am so fired up about this. First of all, I think he is amazing. So if you've ever wondered about some of those Hallmark movies and who does those beautiful Christmas scenes, or you've seen some of these gorgeous photo shoots in a lot of these star homes, that would be Dr. Christmas, who is joining us next week for our Infusion of Joy summer series. I'm so thrilled that he's doing this. I could start crying because he has been a huge influence in my life and made such a huge difference in my life. And he has said, yes, I will do this for you, Lil Deb. I'm Lil Deb. So he is going to be joining us next week. Do not miss this. It's going to be amazing. This week was amazing. Next week's going to be amazing. And we have our summer series guest lineup is incredible. Seriously, don't miss it. So thanks for tuning in today. Joss, thanks again for being with us and helping. And we'll see everybody again next week. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.